Haha, you expected me to make a Bad Batch video, didn't you? Well, I didn't. Not yet, but I'm going to. Don't worry. I will make a Bad Batch video covering the last two episodes, episode 12 and episode 13, probably sometime today or tomorrow morning. So look forward to that. But today we're going to talk about something a little bit different, outside the realm of Bad Batch or anything recently made. Yeah, Star Wars exists outside of the new stuff. Yeah, it always has. I don't know why I said that, because it's fun, I guess. But today we're going to talk about something a little bit different. We're going to talk about connection versus attachment and how it pertains to Obi-Wan Kenobi, Duchess Satine Kryze, Anakin Skywalker, and our favorite dickhead, Emperor Palpatine, or Sheev Palpatine, or Chancelor Palpatine, or whatever the hell you want to call him. That's what we're going to talk about. But before we do, here's a message from our sponsor. Oh yeah, I'm the sponsor. I'm right here. Hit the subscribe button and like the video and leave a comment as to what you think about the video. And if you skip most of the video, then you're skipping most of the message. I'll try to condense it as much as I can, but you know, it's a conversation and conversations can take a minute. All right, but I do have my little post-it note here of notes that I took yesterday so I could record this video, and I will probably look down at them at some point to make sure I am still on track. So the first thing we'll talk about is connection versus attachment. Attachment leads to bad things. That's why the Jedi Order has prohibited it in their order. You want an attachment? Don't be a Jedi. It's plain and simple. But you know this. You know attachments are prohibited. I don't know why I'm explaining that to you, but what's the difference between that and a connection? Well, the Jedi Order encourages connection. Connection to animals, beasts, monsters, or other beings, or whatever. A connection to the Force. We're always talking about the connection to the Force and how it's so strong and how it needs to be enhanced and even meditated on and all that good stuff. So, yeah. So the first person we'll talk about is Anakin Skywalker, and we know how that dude did. That MFer attached himself to just about every living being he came close to. His mother, Ahsoka, Padme, especially Padme, and even, I don't want to say Palpatine yet. I'll get to that. But Anakin attached himself to all those, and it caused him a lot of turmoil, and it caused him to downfall to the dark side, changing from Anakin Skywalker to the dreaded Darth Vader. Now, let me rephrase everything I'm saying. I'm not saying that all these characters I'm going to talk about are connected in some way to what I'm telling. It's just a way of showing that there is a difference between connection and attachment. And I think you guys already know that, but we're going to talk about those connections in those characters. And the one character that Anakin Skywalker was just connected to, okay, I don't want to say just, but it's a pretty big deal to be connected to somebody. It was Sheev Palpatine, Emperor Palpatine, aka Darth Sidious, and whatever else you want to call him. He's had so many names. But there was a connection there, and it wasn't an attachment. Anakin Skywalker wasn't attached to Palpatine. He was just connected to him. Palpatine saw something in him, and he encouraged him and made him better, so to speak, or he thought he made him better, but it didn't work out that way. Not until the end, when Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber connected with Mace Windu's wrist, was it that Palpatine then became an attachment to Anakin Skywalker, causing his own downfall into Darth Vader. But who else had attachments in Star Wars? Well, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi was attached to Anakin Skywalker. He tried to control him, and that's part of attachment, is trying to control that situation or the person that you're attached to. And Obi-Wan Kenobi was attached to Anakin Skywalker. He tried so hard to change him, to guide him in the right way by being a little bit forceful. As his tutor, he was beholden to Anakin Skywalker to teach him the right way of the Jedi. But when Anakin Skywalker resisted or showed any kind of, dissidence against the Jedi Order, Obi-Wan Kenobi was there to smack him and say, look, no, that's not the way it is. You are a Jedi and that's what you're going to be. And Anakin's like, well, yeah, I am a Jedi, but the Jedi Order's wrong, and Obi-Wan just kept going. Now, Obi-Wan Kenobi had a connection as well, and that connection was with Satine Kryze, and they connected on an emotional level, not just a Padawan and his tutor. It was, I guess they'd say love. Yeah. Now, going back to Anakin Skywalker and Palpatine, Anakin Skywalker didn't try to control Palpatine. Actually, Palpatine kind of guided Anakin in the direction he wanted him to go in. So if anything, I guess Anakin was an attachment to Palpatine. Palpatine was attached to Anakin, that kind of thing. But Anakin didn't try to control Palpatine. That's how we know there's a connection there, not some kind of control method or some kind of downfall, although Palpatine was the downfall of Anakin. God, I'm getting so twisted in this. All right, let me look at my notes. All right, so Obi-Wan tried to control Anakin. That was his attachment. He did that. Okay, move on. He didn't try to control Satine. He tried to guide her in a different direction and teach her a different way, but Satine was a Mandalorian, and you know how stubborn Mandalorians are. Then when Obi-Wan lost Satine, when she was killed by Maul, he lost that connection. Almost like he lost a part of himself, and he went into a little bit of a downward spiral, a kind of fall from grace for a little while. He regained his grouping and got back into what he was, his role in the Jedi Order. So meaning that that was not an attachment, because an attachment, losing it, would have left a lifelong scar. Not saying Obi-Wan Kenobi didn't feel the loss of Duchess Satine Kryze. I'm saying that he did miss her and he felt that loss, but he regained himself and became the Jedi he was supposed to be and that he always had been. He put the Order before himself, something Anakin Skywalker did not do because of his attachments. You all know about attachments. We've said this. Now you're going to ask me why I'm stating the obvious, connection versus attachment and all that stuff, because we have a series coming out that's going to highlight some of this, and probably a lot, as if the novels haven't already, and they have. And that's the Acolyte, and that takes place during the High Republic period. And if you're confused on that, no, it's not replacing the Old Republic. It's a different time, approximately 250 to 50 years before the Phantom Menace. So there is a different Jedi Order. Same Jedi Order, same kind of rules and guidelines, but they're a little more relaxed. And you're going to see that characters in the Jedi Order have connections to each other and other beings, even some of those love connections. And this is probably why they're going to change the rules to no feelings at all for people. None. Because something is going to happen. And it's in the novels that it's already starting to happen. So yeah, just keep that in mind. The Acolyte is going to bring to light a lot of this stuff. And it's important to understand what the difference is between connection and attachment. And I don't know why it took me so long to even talk about this, and I don't really remember anybody else talking about that difference, but it was really during reading the High Republic novels that I started understanding it, and it clicked in my head, and it really did blow my mind. I was like, oh yeah, we keep hearing about attachment, and it's bad, and it's going to ruin you, and all this stuff. And then you start learning about connections. And then you're like, wow, okay, now my mind's blown. So the Jedi are not allowed to have attachments, but they're allowed to have connection with beings during this time period, and that's going to go away. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Am I being too literal? Am I being too cerebral? I don't know. I just like talking about Star Wars, and I do it in a positive way because it's freaking Star Wars, baby. And if you're new here or haven't done so or decided to undo it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button again. Yeah. And if you haven't done it, hit it for the first time. Yeah, I'm telling you to do it because we love Star Wars. You love Star Wars, and that's what we're about. So hit the subscribe button, like the video, and leave me a comment down below. This is Gerald, a Star Wars fanatic, signing off, wishing you all great health, happiness, and peace. Thank you all for watching, and remember, this is the way.